Hello, my little wombles, and welcome to episode 13.
Unlucky for some.
Unlucky for everybody, I think, on the M&T podcast. We go through quite the journey, I think, on this podcast, don't we, love?
Yes, we do, love.
We start a little bit grumpy and a little bit cranky. We have a little bit of a row in the middle that's probably edited out so you won't hear it. And then I think we've ended on a high.
We have, and do you know why we've ended on a high? Because we ended a bottle of wine, as always, because it's the M&T pod. So we would love for you to like, rate, review, and enjoy the episode. If you're pouring a glass of wine, send us a picture while you're listening. If you're in the gym, send us a picture while you're listening. Anything that you're doing,
Nobody's doing that while they're listening to this podcast.
Send us a picture of what you're doing while you're listening to the podcast, and I'm going to regret that, but we'll see you in the episode.
We will. There's a lot of swearing, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. See you in the episode.
See you in there. Good luck, everyone.
Another Saturday.
You know what time it is.
We're back.
I feel as if that immediately
Puts us right in.
It invites what should be a jingle. We've got great
music.
That's
different. But welcome to Saturday. Why are you scrolling your phone already?
I'm getting
We've
the
only
notes.
Just started.
Getting the notes and my questions ready. I like to be prepared.
I am prepared. Prepared to kick your ass.
All right. What is this? Episode 13? Well, probably the last one then.
Very unlucky.
Because it's unlucky and we're likely to have a row halfway through this one.
No, we're not. Not that much. I will if you don't open the wine soon, though.
Oh,
Jesus
okay.
Crikey.
So, this week, it's not Whispering Angel because we can't do that every week.
Well, no one's bought us a fresh bottle.
No one bought us one and we're
Come on,
not
guys.
ballers. So, we've got a Marquez de
Yes, Marquez de Cacares.
I mean, it's also the classic 2019 vintage.
Yes.
People have known for at least 6 to 9 months is a very good vintage.
I would like to point out to the YouTube watchers that the bit on top is already missing. The little cover of the cork. And that's because Matthew Charles went to open this bottle of wine last night around dinner time. And then I was like, isn't that the rosé for the podcast?
Well, basically, isn't that the last bottle of rosé in the house?
Yes.
Which
and
for
so
us is
it was very, very close.
We're in a crisis position, guys, basically.
We had to open a bottle of white.
If people don't send us another bottle this week, there could be no podcast next week.
It would be sober. Sober pod.
No one wants that.
Probably
Ready?
not. I don't want that. Ooh. Lovely. And
so yes, this is it's a Rioja. It's most importantly, it's 13.5%. I believe it's from here. Would Marquez de Cacares get it? Is that Spanish? Is it French?
I don't know.
Do you care?
No. Do you know what I care about? My level of dehydration.
Well, luckily, wine is very hydrating.
And right now we're pouring it into our fresh champagne flutes.
Champagne flutes.
But they're glass, people. They're made of glass.
And they're not a tumbler.
So we're feeling fancy for episode 13.
Cheers, love.
Tink tink. Rioja. How does it taste?
Tastes like rosé.
Ah,
nice.
Yes. Ooh.
That's good. It's got a little
Ooh,
space. It's quite sweet.
It's going to be a 25-minute podcast.
Oh.
See you later.
Bye.
Oh my God.
We explained last week the glass situation going on in this house, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about IKEA anymore.
Unfortunately,
It saddens me.
I think there's a lot of people that subscribe and are loyal to the content that we put out purely to find out the latest IKEA update. So why don't
the latest IKEA update is that we had the delivery and realised that we didn't get the glassware, so I called up about the glassware. Then we made a cabinet and realised that it doesn't have any doors, so I've tried to call up about the doors multiple times and nobody's got back to me, so I've emailed and then nobody's got back to me. I got a text message from IKEA today that I didn't tell you about, saying that our shipment is going to a pickup
I got
point.
the email. You get the text messages and I get the email going to its point.
Yes, what is its point? We better not have to pick it up.
Well, I'm not going to pick it up.
I'm not having it.
I'm not going to pick it up. I think that, in fairness to them, I think that's just their standard use of language is it's going to its point. The point we chose is
It's
delivery
here.
to my house, please.
Yes.
And if it's okay this time, bring all of it.
Well, yeah. Well, you have to check it.
We'll see, won't we?
Yeah. How has this week been this week? What?
Oh, this week has been this week. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to check.
Well, I can help you out here.
Go on then.
Monday we did work. Slightly hungover.
Mondays have turned into hangover days, haven't they?
Tuesday we went to see George at the villa. So then Wednesday we were hungover. Then Thursday, hold on. Thursday was 2 days ago. Thursday must have been another work day. No, Thursday was San Ande. No.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
We went to see George on Wednesday.
I'm so glad that you were so confident and ballsy
There
with
was
your this is
definitely
what we did, and you've got it wrong.
There was 2 hangover days though. For you, not for me.
Right, so since the last podcast, hello, we went to Pikes.
Oh yeah, that was Sunday. I forget Sundays.
You're pathetic.
I don't think you're very nice. We did Pikes on
We
Sunday.
did. How was that? How was it to be back at Pikes?
It was really nice, and I know that they're still doing events through September, so we might have to go there again.
Might have to.
Yeah, just before they close.
Today
for
is
winter.
Freddie Mercury's birthday.
It is.
Happy
Cheers
birthday,
to
Freddie
that.
Mercury. Shall we, in memory of his birthday party at Pikes, make this podcast a little wild?
Oh God, no.
We haven't got anywhere near enough.
Did you know that there
Stuff
were
in the house.
224 broken wine glasses on his bill after that party?
I think I've heard that.
There
I'm
you go.
surprised that you
Fun
know the
fact.
number off the top of your head. I knew that there was your Google to double check.
Yeah. Well, I think
How many did you say?
224.
224 broken champagne glasses.
Yeah. Broken wine glasses.
Or
Freddie.
broken wine
Yeah, it's
glasses.
just, yeah. I reckon it was champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, Freddie party, which would have been Freddie Rocks, which is a great...
It's kind of a classic Pikes party, isn't it?
It is.
It's a shame. So it looks like, well, they haven't put anything out, but obviously it's not happening this year as it would usually happen. But yeah, Pikes was good.
232. What did I say?
224.
That's not bad.
It's not correct.
But it's in the... it's like 8 out.
I'll give it, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Just like we had 100 gin and tonics at our wedding.
98.
There or thereabouts. It's basically 100.
There you go.
So anyway, let's talk a little bit more about Pikes then. How was it to be back?
It was really good to be back. Really good to see people there that we know. And say hi to everybody.
It was nice that people
Knew
recognise
us.
us, mainly you, but they do recognise us, and the sort of like, I loved it when Sonny came over and literally said, "Are you who I think you are?" Like, that's such a dickhead thing to have said to you.
Yeah,
And
but
you're like,
also
yeah,
it's
kind of.
like, yeah, you did marry us a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
It was very, very good fun. We met new friends. It's cool to actually stay there with no pressure of a wedding or like a big event, because we just stayed there as a guest and we lazed by the pool. We went in the pool for the first time.
I know.
And it was wonderful.
It is such a lovely hotel to go to and have nothing to think about, because they look after you so well.
Yeah.
And it is
And
so
the people
chilled.
around the pool are cool.
Yeah,
I like John.
You do generally only like Pikes people, as in anyone who's there,
Pikes
tend
people
to just
a
be-
certain type of person.
and those are people that we
they're
get
not
on with.
dickheads.
Well, they are,
Apart
but they're
from
they're
us.
they're, they're
They're allowed
dickheads in
to
a way
be.
that I'm quite okay with, because we're dickheads.
Yeah, that's true.
So Pikes was lovely, and I did love that you, to surprise me, booked it as a night stay,
Rather
which was
than
lovely.
just a Sunday roast.
So
Yeah.
we stayed in room 18 this time.
Yeah, which you go up and over the little Juliet balcony, which overlooks Pamela's, which is the restaurant, so the
Yeah.
old Plaza Mayor. And then you go through this little door, and it was a seating area and this massive bedroom, and then this open copper bath with the shower above it.
Very cool room.
And then you have a little window that you pop your head out of, and you're looking at the whole restaurant, which was very cool. So we lazed by the pool, had some drinks and cocktails, had Sunday roast, and then sat on that famous table for the rest
in
of the
the pool,
night.
yeah.
In the pool for the rest of the
Table
night.
in the pool, and yeah,
which
we
is
didn't move.
officially table 8.
Is it?
Yes,
Is that table 8?
Because that was the table that we were supposed to send John McGovern to, because it was out of the restaurant. That was his table. That's officially table 8.
Is that where table 8 originates?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't
So
really
the story
know.
of table 8 is that the vegan, we didn't actually want him at any table in our actual wedding. So we told him he was on table 8 and he was like, well, where's that then? And I was like, oh, out there.
Yeah, because we only had 5 tables.
Yeah, pointing out of the restaurant.
People do always go, what is this talk of table 8? And like,
my mum has an 8. One of our table 8s that I need.
She does. We've got an 8 to come and be
so
put on our table.
So that was really, really good. And then the rest of the week was...
So yes, as you say, that did mean that Monday was a little bit of a write-off because we were up late and drinking a lot at Pikes.
Sonny wasn't buying us espresso martinis. It was a good week. Well, no, it wasn't a good week, actually. In the grand scheme of things, it's been an very up and down week.
I think so.
High highs and low lows.
Yeah, really nice to have seen friends and go and do really, really nice things, but also pretty stressful.
And I think that kind of shows that you can't just keep going hard.
You stop banging your arm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
you. You can't keep going hard because it's not good for your general health, mental health, physical health.
We've said probably for many weeks now that we feel as if normal life is settling in, but then we always like to find that those few things that we can do that don't feel normal life, because we're like, oh, we want to go and enjoy this, or there's an event on, or there's a friend over. Well, and then they become a bit much because actually we've still got to maintain life. You've got work that's still going on. I've still got things that I try to do on a daily basis and stuff, and sort of remembering that we're not on holiday does make it challenging. And yeah, there are definitely the highs, and anybody who does watch our videos and listens to our podcast regularly, it can maybe potentially look like we are always on holiday because we just put snippets of our life out there, but life isn't always easy and sunshine and rainbows. And this week, it's at times been pretty hard work and pretty stressful, but we don't always put that out there, do we? We don't always share that because I'm not sure that's what...
I don't know. I feel like we should more, but that's a whole different thing. But for now, the week has been very up and down and roller coastery. I have been very happy to see George.
Yeah.
It's been 1.5 years, apparently.
It's crazy when you see people and you realise, when was the last time that we caught up?
Well, we literally got to the villa.
It was 1.5 years.
Got to the villa and he just ran at me, big hug, and it was so nice.
Well, he's your best mate, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where I want to go see him again after this. So we're possibly going back over just for a chill afternoon because I think he's on Struggle Street, so that's okay.
Well, he has been on holiday.
Maybe we should get some pizzas and just go. Yes. But it's very nice to see friends, but also I'm very much looking forward to a few weeks of a break. And I think officially it's going to happen now.
We have said that we were going to do sober September, right? Or a bit of a cleanse, a bit of a chill.
So, we can start any time.
But yeah, because in the very first couple of days of September, there were things that we were doing or people that we were seeing. It wasn't strictly sober September, but we have said September, especially as Ibiza feels a little bit like it's winding down for the autumn and stuff. Does feel as if there's a good opportunity for us to go.
I am just looking at the calendar to check when George is back, which is the 30th of September.
Exactly. So basically,
so we
George
can do 3 weeks. Over 3 weeks. 3 weeks of.
So are we saying it now? Are we drinking wine over the next 3 podcasts? Should we let our listeners decide?
Oh, because we're trying to be better.
We're putting it out there.
But maybe it's the only thing we drink all week. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's our weekend treat is that we share a bottle of wine on a Saturday. It's just that sometimes this bottle of wine turns into a
curry downtown.
Let's go and have a curry and meet some mates and have some beers and some herbas, which then turns into a night out.
I don't see that as a bad thing. But yeah, let us know.
Should we treat ourselves
or not
to a weekend bottle of wine, or are you okay with us maybe taking sober. 3 weeks off? But what would we drink during the podcast?
But then, also, how do we time the podcast?
With a jar of olives?
Oh, could do with some olives.
Those Mercadona olives.
We're going to take them with us. They're going to be nice. Thank you so much for the top up. The wine is delightful.
You got through that one quite quick. Are you okay?
All right.
Well,
Judgy McJudgy pants.
well, you did say that you were feeling dehydrated.
I was, so that one's quenched my thirst. My week has been busy, thanks for asking.
I tried to tell you about my week and I got told off.
Oh, don't be like that, silly fool. I just don't want to bore people because do you know why I think this? And I'll explain it. The first couple of weeks, I remember Jade, my sister, saying to me, I thought it was going to be boring because I watch your daily vlogs and I didn't want it just to be a recap of that. And
Fair
so
enough.
that sticks in my
Fair
brain
enough,
and I haven't
yeah.
explained that to you and I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why I do that and I want to gloss
From
over.
now on, then, this works.
It's more
From
about
now
how
on,
is your
if
week.
you want to know what we've done all week,
Yes.
go and watch our YouTube videos.
And we can talk about highlights and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which is quite
That's
good.
cool.
Yeah, sorry. That's why.
Okay, I get it. I'm glad we
are.
are having this counselling session live on the podcast for all of our listeners to hear.
There you go.
It's lovely. So how have you been this week?
I have been busy. I have start of a new month, so I basically want to make sure that I'm earning enough money this month so that we can stay living in Ibiza.
That'd be nice. Crack on.
Yeah, and it's just I'm still trying to find my balance, which is fine, and I want to get healthier. So I really should stop drinking most of the time. But sometimes the hard 12 hours in front of a laptop makes you want to drink at the end because you're just like, right, I'm done. Pour yourself a glass of wine.
That's the definition of work hard, play hard, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and that's the
So we almost
maybe I just need a new release.
Well, what you need to do is not work so hard, and therefore you won't feel the need to play so hard.
That's probably true. This is the balance I'm trying to find. I know that Ibiza people listen to this, so if anyone can help me, I want to get outside more. I want to do more like hikes.
Well, we went for a walk this morning, didn't we?
We did.
Which was
sunrise.
lovely.
That's why I've just woken up from a nap.
Yeah, so we got up. What time did we were up just before 6 o'clock, or you were up just before 6. I think I was up at 6. And here, depending on where in the world you listen to, but here it is still very much dark at that point.
Yes.
And
sunrise is 7:20.
We drove to the north of the island.
Very north.
Like half an hour drive, over half an hour drive.
Yeah, half an hour drive. We went.
Which in Ibiza gets you from one coast to another, no problem.
Past Portanax and up right at the top, and it was a clear view.
Beautiful
of the sunrise.
sunrise.
We could see Mallorca.
We could see Mallorca, and what do you know? Again, I'm going to say this. This is why I argue sunrises. It was just us.
Oh yeah.
There was no noise, no other people. There was literally nothing. And I know that sunsets are beautiful. However, what I like about a sunrise is usually they're quite quieter times. And as you know, I don't really like spending much time with people. So you want to have a bit more time outside. So a few more hikes, a few more walks. It's feeling like it is getting a little colder in
I
Ibiza,
put a
though,
jumper on yesterday.
You did.
But Reezy.
It's certainly not winter. Again, let's paint a picture. I'm looking out the window right now.
It is beautiful.
Blue skies, sunny, and it's probably mid to high 20s.
Yeah.
However, it is getting, from time to time, a little chilly.
It's the breeze. It's the brisk winds.
The brisk winds, and when it gets dark and
stuff.
You can just get that feeling that autumn and winter is starting to sort of show its face a little bit.
So yeah, more hikes, more sunrises and sunsets, and more activity in general. I want to go like paddleboarding, and we've only been to a beach once since we've been here. Like we're not
and
even
we live 5 minutes
even
from
doing
one.
outside stuff properly.
Yeah,
And
so
that kind of annoys me a little bit.
It needs to change a little. But do you know what? Again, I will forgive us a little that we moved to Ibiza. It is a holiday destination, and you need to give yourself some time to be able to enjoy it and have that novelty kind of period. But we have just hit 8 weeks. So 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months in Ibiza. I think it's time, especially as, like we say, it's starting to wind down a little. But yeah, a bit more outdoorsy time. If people have recommendations of the sorts of things that we can get up to, that'd be lovely.
I know things that we want to do. I just want to get a car so we can go there. Because then we can go to like Atlantis, and then we could go to all of these other coves where you do a walk and then you like go in the sea and stuff. And then, there's loads of things we can do. We just need to be able to get there.
You saw a car yesterday?
I did, and I messaged the woman with an offer today. So
did you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. So we shall see.
Did you offer her a jar of olives and a cuddle?
No, I'm keeping the jar of olives because they're so good.
They are good. Oh, that's exciting. I didn't know you'd put an offer in.
She hasn't responded. We'll see. I would like to just speak about our competition very quickly in the middle of the pod.
Yeah.
If you listened to last week's pod, we said that we would be giving away a bottle of Whispering Angel. To be honest, it was the very end of the podcast.
Of a 1 hour and 20 minute podcast.
And I had drunk plenty, and there had been a yerbas, and I literally brought it up there and then.
It came off the top of your head.
Matt was not prepared for this, but I was happy with what I offered. And if you're listening today, I want to tell you how to enter, because you can. All you need to do is go on to Apple Podcasts. It's a little purple icon on your home screen there. Go on down to the M&T podcast, which you should already be subscribed to, I believe.
I don't know how
I should bloody well hope
well,
so.
If you're listening to it, I would think that you probably are.
I would hope so.
Unless you're listening on Spotify, which you can, or watching on YouTube,
You can,
which
but please go on Apple so that you can rate it. Because then you go down to ratings and reviews, you click the 5 little stars, it has to be 5 or you're not getting in. And write a little review.
We don't take criticism very well.
You need to write words and review us on Apple Podcasts to be in it to win it. And you could be winning a bottle of Whispering Angel anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Apart from Russia.
Apart from Russia and the Maldives.
Probably possible.
Only because if you're in the Maldives, then screw you. I'm not
I do
sending you
love
wine.
the person that gave us a review this week, and it was a 3-word review, which was absolutely wonderful. Ibiza, wine, lunacy. That's us. Thank you very much.
I mean, that could just be the name of the podcast, couldn't it?
That would have been funny. And they also said more magnums, please, but I don't think I can cope with that right now. Also, if you go on our podcast, you get the You Might Also Like Shagged, Married, Annoyed.
Well, I mean,
because we're in the same category.
There are worse podcasts to be associated with. I'll do it, don't worry.
Okay, good. But I would like to bring something up with that said. We had a lovely little message from a good friend of ours that said, we sound so pro on episode 12, as if it's episode 12. That's what she said. And that was Miss Katie Crooks from BBC's Radio 1.
Well, yeah, you can't argue with that, can you?
You can't argue.
Katie Crooks of BBC Radio 1 said that we sound like pros.
We
Bless
clearly
her.
cut out all the arguments.
Bless her. Yeah, I mean, it's heavy editing, Katie. Heavy editing. We get rid of a lot of crap.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we
Oh,
do.
dear. But I do have a question from her, if you're ready for me to
Go
sing
for
the
it, please
questions.
do.
Can you redo the old
I'll do the thing and then we'll do the thing.
Because then we have questions. I've got a few questions this week, and some more have come through in the meantime of me being sat here. So I do have to check my Instagram. Because, influence.
Yeah, I think you received more than I did this week. I've got 3.
I've got 6. So I had a question from Katie after that little point. Is there... I remember my first glass of rosé.
She just said that you sound really pro and you can't read a question.
Katie, I'm so sorry. Is there anything you've learned about yourself or me since moving to Ibiza?
Oh, so this is a question to
you
to me.
Specifically.
Is there something...
Is there anything that you've learned about yourself or Tiff, that's how she wrote it, since moving to Ibiza?
Since moving to Ibiza.
And this was something that we discussed yesterday, but tabled the discussion because we were like, let's talk about it on the podcast.
Did we?
And basically what I said is that we've never spent so much time together.
No, we do now spend even more time together than we ever have before.
Because you used to work 10 hours a day.
Well,
in a
I
store.
worked 10 hours a day and you didn't work from home. We now both work from home. But also whenever we want to go somewhere, we always go together if we want to. Yeah. For now.
But this is something that
I think,
answer the question then.
I think personally, so if that's just coming at me, what have I learned about myself? I've learned that it's not as easy as it sounds to go, I'm just going to take a break.
That's a really good point.
Because it's not as easy as it sounds. It sounds lovely and you think, I've now been on an 8-week holiday. It could easily be seen as.
Yeah, but it's
It
not. Is
definitely. Firstly, it's not as easy as that, and it hasn't been an 8-week holiday. But even if it had been, that in itself has a lot of challenges with it about how you keep yourself occupied, stimulated, and feel like you're adding something and bringing value and contributing and stuff.
that's an issue you've
and that's
had.
hard. And I still have from time to time.
Yeah, that is a real issue you've had, but then on the other hand,
I honestly don't know what I'll do when I genuinely retire when I'm old. I think a lot of people struggle with thinking about that.
We need a pension because we're going to be buggered.
We need a pension because we're going to be buggered.
Well, we're not going to have any money, because we spend the money that we.
Well, you say that,
Tim,
but
I'm sorry, Tim.
You say that, but we've got investments and they are
that is true.
maturing.
Forget.
So
I forget about them. We're set.
We're fine.
Anyway, Tim's going to
my
message
dad
us.
probably just had a slight little hernia. Don't worry, Dad. She just doesn't. Just like with you and Mum, she just doesn't really know that much about her investments. That's all. But we do have them.
Okay. Anyway, what have you learned about me?
I already knew it, but I've definitely learnt more about it. You are just a grafter.
Oh.
But, and that is a big positive.
I thought you was going to say that is a big but.
It is a positive that you're a grafter, but I would argue, and I've learnt this, I think you overwork as well. I think you put too much pressure on yourself. And I think maybe you're learning that about yourself as well. I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you've never really had to work this hard sort of with your own autonomy and on your own time and your own schedule. And I actually think you've gone sometimes too far and gone, I'm gonna do a 14-hour day because I have to. And I actually think sometimes you don't have to.
But yeah, we've had this discussion, like, where were we? Yes, when we were in Rock's Bar or wherever we were the other day. And we've sat and talked about what I'm doing at the moment and whether it is the right thing and whether I'm actually doing the right thing. But yeah, I think it's just something that we will learn as time moves forward and see how we cope. But yeah, I think we've learned quite a bit about how our new life is and how working from home for two people is and spending time together always is. And I do think, and I think you'll agree, is we might need to do separate things.
I think you have to. I think in any relationship you have to.
Yeah, and I'm like, I know when you went to the cinema the other night, I just carried on working, but it actually got me ahead for this weekend, and so I've actually I only did an hour of work today.
Yeah.
When normally it would have been 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Because I got ahead when you were out.
But eventually, it should get to the point where on Saturday it's none.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'm hoping that definitely. Yeah. But yeah, and I obviously think maybe I want to go out with some friends that I've met that aren't necessarily your friend, or I want to go meet a friend for coffee, like Michelle from Cafe DM or whatever. And we don't always have to do these things together.
I do look back and I think about what were the first 8 weeks like living in the UAE, for example.
Oh yeah, we did everything together.
We did it. It was exactly the same sort of stuff because you've got to go.
As well.
And you go through this journey together. We are not yet settled. Yeah. Our stuff isn't here. We don't have a car all the time, and and on top of that, the world is a weird place right now, where also people are already isolating and things. So I think we're going to go through that, and I think 8 weeks, it seems like a long time, and in some ways you think we should have had everything nailed and mastered by now, but also it's a blink of an eye. 8 weeks is less than what lockdown was, for example, in the UAE.
We were 8 weeks in the UAE before we got into our apartment.
Yeah, so we lived in a hotel room for 8 weeks.
That's true.
So when you look at that,
I
think you can be quite forgiving on yourself that actually
I think we're putting too much pressure on.
Of course we haven't mastered it yet, and of course there are times where things are stressful or we're a bit naggy at each other, but that's because at the moment life isn't normal and we haven't truly got fully settled yet, and that's okay.
That's fair.
Good question, Katie.
That was a really good question.
This is why Crookers needs to be a guest on the podcast.
Crooks, come out. We'll do a Prosecco brunch and we'll do a podcast. I've got 3 quickfire questions from the same person.
If they're quickfire, then go for it.
You're going to know who it is straight away. Do you want your pink shorts back? I wear them every day.
No, they're yours, John McGovern.
If Matt could relive a Boys, 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 which one would it be and why?
The one where John Ashmore nearly died.
Elaborate.
Because it was bloody hilarious. Well, first question, the pink shorts. I'm going to elaborate slightly. John McGovern came on a holiday, not just a holiday, but our wedding week in Ibiza, and he came with no swimming shorts. I also believe he came with no underwear. So he borrowed underwear from John Ashmore and he borrowed swim shorts from me. He also now wears those swim shorts
all the time.
All the time. They're
time.
definitely yours, mate. You keep those. Second question, which Boys, Boys, Boys would you relive and why? Definitely the one where John Ashmore nearly died, because John Ashmore is the most mature and grown-up and sensible of our group of friends. And to see him suffering...
I'm not in that group of friends.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
And it's probably best you're not.
Probably.
To see him suffering it's hard. You never like to see your friends suffering, but bloody hilarious.
How did he nearly die?
Well, he nearly died because he drank like an entire bottle of whiskey and was then quite ill that night. But he blamed that on the fact that when we went out that night, we went to like a fish and chip shop and I just went, I'm buying everybody a pickled egg. So
you blamed it on a pickled egg?
Not just a pickled egg. So we all had a pickled egg. Fine, no problem.
Why would you buy everyone a pickled egg? Are you 12?
Because we were, well, basically, yeah. We also had some cigars because it was Boys, Boys, Boys.
That is
and so when he was
mix.
quite sick, he didn't blame the entire bottle of whiskey that he'd absolutely smashed his way through.
Definitely been spiked.
It was the pickled egg, mate. Or it might have been the cigar. Yeah, of course it was, mate.
That's when people say they've definitely been spiked, but it wasn't the, 4 jugs of woo-woo that they had at...
No, it was definitely the one shot of whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Slippery nipple.
Question 3 of 3. See, I love how you got in a slippery nipple. If Matt could be in any band, which one would it be and why? And it can't be the Ron Johnsons. I put that clause in, not him.
If I could be in any band...
Yeah.
Foo Fighters.
You'd be in Foo Fighters?
Yeah, just so I could be friends with Dave Grohl, really.
Nice.
Because he is a legend.
I'd be in Twin Atlantic.
Why?
Because they were cool.
They were cool.
Basically went bowling with them.
Yeah,
that
we
was
met
fun.
them and they were cool.
We went bowling in the next lane to Twin Atlantic before the gig in Cambridge, and you couldn't speak to them.
I was a proper
You
fanboy.
were starstruck, and I was like, "Hi guys."
I'm crap with celebrities.
You are really bad.
Really
and I'm just
bad.
like, "Do you want a picture?" And you're like, "No." I'm like, "Get a fucking picture."
This
is your one chance.
Yeah. I'm really bad. I said this to you before, didn't I? I'm already nervous that one day we're going to be somewhere in Ibiza and there's going to be Wolves players that are on holiday.
Sad.
I'm already nervous about it. I'm nervous about something that may never happen, but I think that there's a good chance it could at some point. And I don't know what I'm going to do.
This is very minor, but we went to rugby sevens, me, Alice and Joe. And Alice always says this, because James Smith was there, do you know, the PT guy?
Yep.
And I saw him and I was like, "Oh, hey James, could I get a picture? How are you?" Like, just normal chat. And then afterwards, Alice was like, "What?" Like, because people don't do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it's your only chance.
Yeah.
If you watched him walk by, or watched whoever walk by, you'd regret it the rest of the day.
So here's a question.
You?
Let's flip reverse this one.
I have been starstruck before, though.
But I'm going to flip reverse this one. We are not... I'm going to be very, very clear with this.
He's got a finger
I have a finger in the
everything.
air. We are not celebrities in any way, but somebody has shouted at us in the street.
Oh yeah, and we were really hungry and walked away, and I felt really bad.
Somebody just shouted, "Matt Tiff," while we were walking into town.
Guys.
We turned around, we waved, and we were like, "Hi," but we carried on walking. But how would you feel if somebody you didn't know, maybe in a place you didn't know, say you're on holiday somewhere, let's say we go back to the UK or whatever, and someone goes, You're Tiff, like, and like, how would you feel? How would you react?
I think I'd react fine fine at the time, and it would all be a front, because afterwards I'd break down. But because I feel so guilty about walking away from those two people, and I've still not figured out who they are, I feel really guilty about walking, because we was on. Do you know what it was? Because we'd finished a podcast and we were stomping to Kathmandu.
We were.
That
We'd
was
finished
a
a
real
podcast
stomp.
and we were on our way to a curry.
We were on our
Basically, if you ever want to catch our attention, don't do it on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Because if we've just done the podcast, we are hungry and a bit tipsy, and there is no stopping us.
So that's the reason that we walked away from you. If you're listening, I'm really sorry. Please let me know who you are.
Do you still feel
I
guilty
still feel
because
really
we didn't
bad.
properly stop?
And so now, if someone ever said our names, or my name or your name, I would really stop, because I still feel bad because no one has come forward and said it's them, and now I think they hate us.
Oh. Do you know what though?
Oh.
My finger is in the air again, and I properly stress this. We are not in any way
well
celebrity.
known.
But if there is somebody who ever felt like they wanted to stop and talk to us because they've watched one of our videos or they listen to, I would happily let them. Like, please do. Please don't ever.
Because
please don't ever feel like you
we've got someone
can't.
to meet up with in the next few days.
Have we?
Yeah, they were on Instagram and they're staying at Hostel Latour in San Antonio.
Oh, lovely.
So I reckon we go for a sober sunset, and go see them. So yeah, because people contact me on Instagram quite a lot, and just asking for recommendations, or can we meet for a drink, this, that, and the other. And I think we should honour it a lot more than we do.
We've met with
sometimes.
Now a couple of people on the island. We've either bumped into them or we've met with them, and we know that they're watchers of our YouTube channel.
Yes.
And they always go, "So, how are you?" I mean, I've been watching, so I know what you've been up to. And we're always like, "Oh, it's really strange that you knew what I had for lunch yesterday."
Yeah.
Because it's always a sandwich.
But
it is kind of strange.
Okay, so in answer to John's question, you'd be in Foo Fighters.
Long story short, Foo Fighters. Good question, John. Thanks, mate.
That was a good one.
Can I now go?
Yeah. I've only got
If
two
you
left.
could only have one condiment for the rest of your life,
Barbecue sauce.
I mean, do you want to have some time to think about
No,
it?
I don't need. If anyone knows me, they know my distinct love. I don't think that's right. They know my absolute adoration for barbecue sauce.
Adoration. You have You used the word adoration in your vows.
I love barbecue sauce.
To me,
Yeah.
was
I
adoration.
love you as much as I love barbecue sauce.
You should have just said that.
I do love barbecue sauce.
But if you're saying so you'll never have ketchup, you'll never have mayo, you'll never have sriracha, you'll never have...
No, I'll give up sriracha for barbecue sauce. I do love sriracha. I don't think there are any other condiments because I don't eat condiments. Do I? I don't eat like coleslaw.
You don't, to be honest.
I don't eat dips.
You actually ask for things without...
Does
the
alioli
extra.
count? Is that a condiment?
Alioli
is that a condiment?
Alioli is a condiment.
Oh my god, I'm going to put this as a poll on my Instagram. Alioli or barbecue sauce. I know which
For
way
life.
it's going.
For life. It's not just like what do you fancy.
For life, alioli or... Oh. Is there like a sub-clause or a loophole where if you make it yourself you can have it out of raw ingredients?
Absolutely not. That is... Don't even
I'm
try.
definitely looking for a way round here, aren't I?
Barbecue sauce or alioli for the rest of your life.
Barbecue sauce.
Nicely done. Well done for
Because
being so committed.
alioli sometimes can be too much.
Also makes you stink. I mean, I'm not just saying you specifically. Anybody. It's pure garlic.
You don't want to kiss me?
It is pure garlic.
Yeah, barbecue sauce.
No one ever goes, "Ooh, you've had some barbecue sauce," do they? But people will go, "Ooh, you've had some alioli, haven't you?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
who was that?
That came from, do you know Crooker's friend Kelly, who lives in Texas?
P?
Kelly P. I don't know what the entire surname is. It Peen?
Payne? We love you, thank you.
Anyway, she sent that question like 10 minutes after last week's podcast.
I hope you listen this
And
week,
so I
Kelly.
messaged
Thank
her
you
and
for
I was like,
listening.
"Oh, you literally,
That must be one of
you've
our
just missed it."
furthest listeners.
Yeah, so Kelly wanted to know
Thanks, Kelly.
your condiment for life and your gun with barbecue sauce.
They did. They did a hen do. This kills me every year when it comes up on Time Hop. And they all dressed up like Mexicans. And they were Juan Direction. And that kills me every time I see it. Because that is smart.
Didn't they have like Dinosaurs?
One of the other day, they stayed at Ibiza Rocks, I think, and they did a 4-day like hen do.
Juan direction.
And they were
That's genius, isn't it?
no, Juan direction, but they also had the blow up dinosaur outfits. Oh my god, that is
I'm with you.
smart.
That is one of somebody else's time hop that I always love seeing.
Every year. Oh, that kills me. One direction. Oh dear. Good one. I've got one from New Martins on Instagram. What did you do at Apple, Matthew Charles?
I'm pretty sure I've answered this question on the podcast before. However, happy to answer it again. Could be, and if that is the case, welcome on board. At Apple, I was, at the time of leaving, I was the manager of a retail store in Dubai. I worked for Apple for 12 years. I started at Apple as sort of just a on-the-floor sales guy.
Sales assistant, which they call
a specialist. That was me. I was a Mac specialist.
Mac specialist.
Oh, see, you're going to give me all the bants, but you can't say the word specialist.
Specialist.
I was a Mac specialist.
Why do you never fix my issues?
You don't have any.
No, that's true.
Because I know how to look after a Mac so that it doesn't get issues. Boring. But yes, and then fast forward 12 years, I was a manager of the retail store in Dubai.
Lovely.
If Tiff could... Now be careful with this one.
Oh, I see your face already.
If Tiff could only use one swear word for the rest of her life, which would it be and why?
It's the one that we don't say. One swear? Oh, I can't... What do I say? I do say fuck a lot. So I think... Can it be like fuck and you can have fucking and fucking hell? Like you can have like all of that.
Yeah, and get fucked.
Yeah, so you can have...
I think fuck... Because it's so versatile, isn't it?
Such a versatile swear word.
It's so adaptive. It works in so many... Get fucked, fuck you, fuck everything, fuck yourself. Fucking this, fucking that. I'm fucked, you're fucked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If anyone has accidentally left this on and their kids are in the room, I'm so sorry. But it does say explicit content at the beginning. It does.
I explicit content everything just because.
But I do know that there are people that listen to this and they're quite happy for their kids to be listening. One of the weeks where we had lots of questions from the same family, was it the Hales?
Oh, yeah.
But they sent us questions from their kids, didn't they?
Yeah.
And said that they were really chuffed because their kids loved hearing that their questions were asked. So, Hales...
You've just said the F word a gazillion times.
Fucking lots. Fuck tons. Fucking
See?
tons.
A metric fuck ton.
Yeah.
I love a metric fuck
ton. Do you know what? I love the word... I like when someone describes something as a total clusterfuck.
Clusterfuck. Great word.
An absolute
well
clusterfuck.
Done. Can we put that in the title of the podcast?
Well, if this podcast is now not named Fuck, and Wine...
Clusterfucks. Oh,
do you want to guess who that question came from? I
feel like it's too difficult to guess in the way that you phrased that. Can I have a clue?
It's someone who's a total fuck.
Then I'm not going to answer.
It's John McGovern.
Oh, well, of course it is.
But thanks for asking it, mate. And there you go. We're both going with the word fuck.
I was naturally going to go for Jade. I'm sorry.
Well, it's the kind of question Jade would ask as well.
That is true, thanks.
If you have a different swear word that you would prefer to use for the rest of your life and no other, make sure that is written in your review.
And this is the time for the emoji. Do you know the emoji?
What are you going to say?
No, the emoji.
We've just said lots of fuck.
No, the angry face with all of the little
yes.
The exclamation mark hashtag across its mouth. It's the swearing man emoji.
Yeah. The red one with the sweary mouth.
I don't think it's red.
It is red.
It's red?
Yeah.
With the sweary mouth.
With the sweary
mouth emoji. Now.
Inspired by John McGovern.
Oh, God. He's going to be on top of the bloody world, isn't he?
No, he does.
Top of the fucking world, sorry. Okay. Let's go back to normality. I'm sorry if anyone's children are listening. What event are you most looking forward to returning in 2021 in Ibiza? And we covered my answer. Because I really wanted to do Freddie Rocks this year.
Well, it's weird because as soon as you just asked that, I was thinking maybe because we just spoke about it, but Freddie Rocks because I've never done it.
Oh. You basically...
And I was looking forward to it. But because you want a different answer, I am looking forward to an event that was supposed to be this year but has been postponed to next year.
Yes, I know what you're going to say.
Kevin and Perry live at Amnesia.
I don't think it's live. They're not reenacting the entire film. But what they are
They're playing the film.
They're playing the film in Amnesia from 10 o'clock at night. And then at midnight, the original DJs from the night that was filmed in the film 21 years ago, it will be then, are going to play sets.
Yes.
And maybe Eyeball Paul will be there.
It was...
Sorry.
You know how I said quite early on in the podcast, don't bang the sofa? You've just banged it harder.
I bet they don't even hear it. Do you have wine?
Yeah, it is... No, I need topping up. Thanks for asking.
It's right there.
But you asked. It's one of the first events that when we knew we were going to be here, we were like, let's get that booked. Well done.
Save myself a little.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that would be lots of fun. Amnesia, watching Kevin and Perry. I hope they put like beanbags out or something. And then
We've been out all night.
we passed that restaurant multiple times.
Literally the hotel that they stay in.
Hotel.
In the film.
It's like an Airbnb. It's like a B&B, not an Airbnb.
Where they stay in the film is in our town. It's a pizza restaurant in Santa Ilaria, and we walked past it today. We walk past it most days,
and
every time we walk past it, I always go, "We've been out all night," because it's just a line from the film.
We do need to go there for a vlog and have pizza.
Oh yeah. Watch this space for some Kevin and Perry based
After
content. It could be this evening.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm out of questions.
I've got one more, and this was my question from Crookers.
Oh.
So, and obviously she's very good at the questions. If you could both steal a character trait from each other, what would it be and why? What character trait would you steal from me? Please take longer.
Your patience with me.
Okay.
I think you're really patient
Elaborate.
with me. I think because obviously I do things in a certain way I have my annoyances, obviously.
Annoyances.
We're a married...
You're annoying.
We're a married couple.
Saying?
There are things that we sometimes find a little annoying. Well, not really.
A
Your
little?
eye is twitching, but...
I'm desperately keeping my mouth shut right now.
I just think you have patience in situations where I don't. Because I'm like, I want things now, and you're just like, well, this is how it's going to happen. In other ways, no, because sometimes you do not have patience. But I think it's your patience with me that you are very good at, because I am your wife. And therefore, I would take that.
I am your wife.
I am your wife.
And therefore, it is my job to be patient with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I do it well?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends how...
Do you know what? I think throughout my life, in multiple scenarios, I've been told that I'm very patient.
I think you are.
I'm going to be really honest
but
now.
I also know when you're really not.
I'm like, honestly, do you know where I think it stems from?
Oh God.
My sister, love her to bits, but I remember, and this is quite vivid memory, childhood memory, when she sort of became a teenager. Her and my mum would just scream at each other.
Oh, yeah.
And she was not the nicest older sister for a while. She wasn't horrible.
Well,
But I do remember, I don't remember exact situations, but I remember my parents always sort of complimenting me on that I was quite okay to just let...
I think you're laid back.
I let drama happen around me, and it can go on, and like I just don't let it affect me.
At the time.
And then I'll take it away myself.
Yeah.
I'll bottle it up.
Yeah.
I'll have a little mental breakdown on my own.
Yeah.
And then everyone will continue to see the illusion,
yes.
which is that I'm a very chilled person when actually I'm really not.
I do. I'm a duck on water.
Fucking hell. So,
What?
only because you said that, I know exactly what you mean. The analogy of, obviously,
Calm on top.
calm on top, flapping underneath. But I saw, should I not have used the word flap? Okay. No? You're not happy with flap underneath? Anyway, I saw this amazing sort of thread on Twitter the other day. It might have even only been yesterday, that used that exact analogy, where someone had tweeted National Geographic, the official Twitter account for National Geographic, and had said, I have learned this amazing new thing, and I need you to follow me so I can DM it to you so that I can share it with you and you can validate it or whatever it was. And so National Geographic did follow this person on Twitter, and this person DM'd them and says, it turns out that ducks don't float, they just have really long legs and they walk along the bottom of the river.
And then National Geographic blocked
them. Didn't respond and blocked them immediately. So you think that you're a duck, so you've got really long legs.
Both are. I think we are very much, we have a bit of a front as that everything's fine, and then we have our little breakdowns behind closed
we've talked
doors.
about that already on this podcast, haven't we?
That
potentially our podcasts and our YouTube videos show calm, happy,
touch misleading.
Maybe. And maybe we need to be a bit more honest with people.
I think that's the thing with social media in general, and that's a whole rabbit hole, so let's not get into that. But
I would always like to think, though, that we're honest.
We're mostly honest. We are mostly honest, but I'm not going to show, like,
I think the fact that we
scenes.
talk about it quite openly here on the podcast is good to say.
I had a cry earlier today.
And I had a good old cry yesterday.
Exactly. So, there's things that happen, and it's not always 100% hunky-dory, but we get there.
So the character trait that you're taking from me is patience.
Yeah. Long story short, patience. Okay. What are you taking from me then?
Just your... I would take your sort of proactive... And there's another word I'm looking for, but I can't find it right now. But you're very, very proactive, and there is not a thing that drops on your to-do list and you go, do you know what, I'll figure that out at some point. If something drops on your to-do list, you go, I'm already on it now. I've already done it, finished, done. And I can never be like that. I actually don't think that I want to be like that, but I kind of like envy you for having this kind of... This is now very work language. Anybody
God, you're going to be Apple language.
No, I found it. Anybody who works for Apple or has worked for Apple who listens to this will totally align with what I'm saying. You're very action orientated.
Oh, that's a normal thing. That's not just
no,
Apple
it's
thing.
not.
Don't
though.
Make it all special.
No. Well, it's because that's a thing that we talk about a lot in Apple.
Okay.
But you are very.
Would I make a good Apple employee?
No.
Because I don't like people.
No, not only because you don't really like people, but you also...
I'm a lone ranger.
Keep answering your own question if you want to.
I can't work in a team and I can't be managed.
Well, you can't be managed, that's for sure.
All of that.
Yeah. But I also think that you don't buy into strong culture of a company if you're not entirely aligned with it. An
orchestrated culture of a company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understood.
So when a brand or a company is so dependent on its people being bought into that, if you don't buy into something, you're not on board with it.
That's true.
Which is something to be commended, and I admire you for.
Card full.
Oh, well, at this point, I need to apologise to the people watching on YouTube.
Did you not empty it when you just made the vlog?
No.
Oh, I don't know where it ended.
No, none of us do.
I'm sorry, YouTubers. We've only just realised.
YouTube, you could have been in a black screen a long time ago, and we wouldn't have known. Anyway.
Do you have any more questions?
No, that was my last question
your
anyway.
Wine, then?
Yeah.
Considering we actually thought that this wasn't going to be a strong pod, it's quite a strong pod.
Well, we always say that because we've finished a bottle of wine. I think a bottle of wine makes Juan direction.
Who is Juan? That's got to
feel.
be a part of the name.
It makes you feel I think the podcast is proof of what wine does to you in a 45-minute period.
It makes you okay.
Yeah, because we weren't in the best of moods and not really
Well,
feeling
I'd
it.
only just woken up from a nap.
You'd woken up from a nap and I'm a bit grumpy today.
But now we're okay.
Now-
and we're going to a villa.
And now
for a
I want to go
barbecue.
out. And see, this is the problem.
Yeah!
This
Let's
is the
do
problem.
it.
This is the danger of the podcast.
I love it.
Makes us happy and then we want to go out and eat pizza and curry. And
I'm excited. I'm going to call George as soon as we hang up to see what the plan is. And thank you again for listening. We are just approaching an hour. It's been a great vlog. No, hold on. Podcast. Oh,
It's a
dear.
good podcast.
It's been a great pod.
Do you know what? Don't apologise. We make a lot of content on a daily basis, and I think
I just can't differentiate between the
people
two.
need to appreciate that. And so, please go and subscribe. Do your rate, do your review, and if you haven't yet, also pop over to our YouTube channel. Watch a couple of videos, and if you like them, subscribe to those as well.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Matt does some great edits, especially if you look at the B-roll playlist. That is Matt being all artistic and stuff.
I've got 2 B-rolls still to make. I've got all of the
Do you?
content for them.
What for?
I haven't done a proper Pikes B-roll. So anybody who thinks that the Pikes edit was good, I haven't done the B-roll
I didn't know.
yet. And obviously the villa that George is at, I haven't done that B-roll yet either.
Oh, smashing. Okay, so we're going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me on
Thank you so
another
much.
podcast.
I apologise. I think it was I don't know. I feel as if I need to say sorry for today's podcast.
Well, you need to say sorry for the amount of swearing because you did all of the fucks.
John McGo, if you've got a problem with it, at JMG Creative.
Oh,
If you have a problem with the swearing,
at JMG Creative.
JMG Creative. And tell him that you're not happy with the amount of swearing that he created on this podcast.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everything. Thank
Oh
you.
God, I want to thank you to my family.
I'd like to thank my mom.
Thank you for everything. Just thank you.
Okay, we're going to go now.
Turning into bullshit. Goodbye. Bye.
Oh, wow.